This is a carburetor. The use of carburetors dates back to the early 1900s, where they were used in most cars and trucks until the late 70s. Presently, they're mainly used on machines like lawnmowers, chainsaws, and dirt bikes. A carburetor is a simple means of delivering a mixture of air and fuel to an engine, giving it the fuel it needs to run. Here we have a carburetor. We will be using a blower to create a flow of air through the barrel to simulate the carburetor being on an engine. As you can see, when we apply a flow of air through the carburetor, the air exiting the carburetor has become a mixture of air and fuel. So how does this work? Here is a basic model of the inside of a carburetor. We have a barrel with a restriction, known as a Venturi, a fuel inlet, a fuel bowl, and a fuel passage. Air travels through the barrel here on its way to the engine. Fuel enters the carburetor here and fills the bowl. As the air flows through the restriction here, it pulls fuel through this channel and into the barrel, where it then mixes with the air, which is then ignited in the engine.
The two equations that drive this behavior are Bernoulli's equation and conservation of mass. Bernoulli's equation is a representation of the total energy of a flowing liquid. It must remain constant, and so the three parts of energy, a form of work energy, kinetic energy, and potential energy, all must equal the same thing throughout the entire flow. So if one increases, the other two have to decrease to compensate for that. And it's also true that Bernoulli's equation does not account for any losses due to friction or other forces, so while it is useful, it can sometimes be insufficient. Conservation of mass states that the mass flowing through one area must equal the mass flowing through another area. This can be expanded to the area times velocity of one area must equal the area times the velocity of another area. Coming to our diagram, the area of section A is greater than the area of section B, so section B has to have a higher velocity to keep this true. Now this helps increase the velocity when it gets to this funnel that is rising up holding the fluid. And when you come back to Bernoulli's equation, if you increase the velocity, this will increase the total kinetic energy. This means these two combined must decrease to keep this constant, and this actually takes the form of pressure decreasing, which sucks the fluid out of the funnel and it shoots it down the tube.